Hi, this is Tisch Aitken, and if you could please like and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. We have so much going on astrologically, and we are in the midst of eclipse season until the end of the month. And for many of you, I'm sure you already have been experiencing a lot of intensity and a lot of big events, and whether it's for you directly or people around you, this has been a very intense eclipse season. The first eclipse on April 30th was conjunct Uranus, the maverick planet, the planet of the unexpected and the planet of chaos, and it is the great awakener. And eclipses in and of themselves wake us up to things that we need to really think about. They raise our consciousness. They make us wake up. Uranus brings that up quite a few notches. A lot of shocking stories, a lot of exciting stories. Uranus rules electricity. It can be very exciting, but during eclipse season, it can raise your anxiety. And then Mercury retrograded on May 10th and retrograded in the sign of Gemini, which it rules, at 4 degrees and 50 minutes of the mutable air sign of Gemini. And on that very day, Jupiter, the grand benefic, entered the world point, the very first degree of the Cardinal Fire sign of Aries, in the middle of eclipse season. Eclipses come in pairs, and we just had the very powerful lunar eclipse on May 15th and May 16th, depending on where you live. But Jupiter entered Aries about 5 days before, and this is about expanding through courage and passion and fearlessness, but it also can expand the aggression, the anger, the impulsiveness. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto is the modern. This total lunar eclipse that occurred on May 15th or May 16th was at 25 degrees and 18 minutes of the fixed water sign of Scorpio. That's a really intense placement of the moon. That was a lunar eclipse that was really, really intense, only within 3 degrees of the south node of karma, letting go of toxicity. A lot of endings, a lot of death, a lot of release, a lot of pain. And that eclipse squared Saturn, the planet of restrictions. Not easy energy at all. Now the energy is starting to change. The sun trined Pluto, which is a very good aspect. That's an aspect that is a 120 degree aspect. That's how far they are from one another. And that's an aspect of flow and ease. And that occurred at 8:11 a.m. this morning, Eastern Daylight Time. That makes you feel more empowered, more confident. Mercury and Jupiter are forming a harmonious aspect at 9:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today. That is auspicious and optimistic energy, so that's good. And then over the weekend, the sun enters the mutable air sign of Gemini on Friday, May 20th at 9:33 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It will be transiting there until June 21st, when we have the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. But the sun transiting in Gemini is social. It's getting involved in your local community. It's having some fun, taking some classes or workshops, and just more lighthearted social energy. And then the sun and Mercury meet up on Saturday, May 20th at 3:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Social energy, fun, good for going to parties. And there's a very sexy romantic energy over the weekend because Mars and Pluto both form a very harmonious aspect on Sunday, but that's looming over the weekend. And that occurs at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good for having dates this weekend. Good for having romance and fun and really enjoying yourself. And then Mercury re-enters Taurus on Sunday, May 22nd at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So we're seeing Mercury retrograde this round during the eclipse season in two signs. Initially in the sign it rules in Gemini. Now it re-enters Taurus. It will station direct on June 3rd, and it will station at 26 degrees and 5 minutes of Taurus, of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. And this sets off where the total lunar eclipse occurred, the one that was at 25 degrees of the fixed sign of Scorpio, giving you more information how to process all that you've been learning and experiencing in this eclipse journey, which has not been an easy one. And on the following day, Saturn, the planet of karma and restrictions, will station retrograde at 25 degrees and 15 minutes of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And Saturn squared this last eclipse, so that made it more challenging and more restrictive. So Mercury and Saturn will be clashing in the sky in the beginning of June when Mercury does station direct, but luckily it does, getting more information. But more levity by the end of this month. On May 30th, we have the new moon in Gemini. I will do a video on that. That officially ends eclipse season. New beginnings in the sign of thoughts and ideas, doing manifesting and journaling and getting out of this really heavy lunar eclipse of Scorpio. And Mars is going to enter Aries on May 24th, and it will be there until July 5th. So recognize that that's more fire in the air. Jupiter is transiting in Aries until October 28th, and now Mars, which rules the sign of Aries, is going to be transiting in Aries until July 5th. There could be, I know there have been a lot of shootings recently and fires and fiery energy. The Jupiter-Neptune conjunction really starts to separate at the end of this month. And when Mars leaves Pisces, only Neptune's transiting in Pisces. So now we've got a lot of fire. And so recognize that people could get worked up. It's really good for workout routines, getting work done. Cardinal signs make things happen. Go for your passion, be fearless, but also find ways to minimize the anger or that energy of it, because people will be worked up, and it's been a really difficult time. So, you know, it's understandable. Listen, good luck, a little more levity. We'll get a little more lighthearted at the end of the month, but we do have that Mercury Saturn square that is giving reality as to how we process moving forward. So good luck and take care.